Sega.
Hello all and welcome to another video for Total War Warhammer. My name is Joey Dalton and I'm joined by Darren McNally, who has played through this battle as the Empire versus the Chaos Warriors. And Darren, tell us a little bit about this map, where we are and what you're doing.
Alright, so we're up in the northern areas of Norska, and we're defending as Empire against the Chaos Warriors. So this is a custom battle that we've played previously, or I played it previously, and we're kind of commentating over it in hindsight like we've done with the Vampire Siege. So we're playing at the Golden Monolith. It's just a really nice looking map. It's also available on the campaign map. If you find it on the map, you can just go fight there if you wish. So I thought I'd do this in custom battle. It's a good example of defending against the Chaos Warriors horde as they come down into your lovely lush green Empire territories and lay waste to everything. This is a good example of what you can experience in the campaign. And so yeah, so let's take a look really quickly over at their armies.
Also, just to note, everything you see in the Chaos Warrior army will be present for you to fight against, whether you pre-order or not.
Right, so here we go. This is the Chaos Chariot. They're armoured and they're anti-infantry. They're looking absolutely badass as well.
Yeah, pretty terrifying, I've got to say. Look at their horns.
Yeah, so everything with Chaos is embroidered again with skulls and spikes and metal and just, you know, like really evil looking kind of race. So over here we have the Chaos Knights, again armoured and shielded. You've got flames coming off the hooves of their cavalry and their eyes as well. Even their shields have flames just coming off them constantly.
I think their shields are amazing.
Then we've got the Chaos Warhounds, which have scaly skin. They're very fast and they're weak to armour.
So scaly skin is like a type of armour?
Yeah, so they're good against missiles essentially, and they're super fast, so they can actually just basically dodge them. Chaos Marauders, which are your kind of basic infantry, your kind of low tier basic infantry. They're shielded, so they're decent in combat as well. But behind them we have the Chaos Warriors themselves, which are the armored and which are also armored and shielded. They're kind of just the upgrade to the Marauders. They're much more powerful, much stronger in melee, much stronger in defense. Then over here we have the Chosen. Now these guys, it's getting pretty serious now when you get over these guys. They're looking pretty badass. They've got even more spikes on their shields. And that basically means that they're more armored and they're more shielded, and they're very powerful in melee combat. And they have their great weapons variant over here, which means they ditch the shield and they just use two hands for their sword, for their weapon here, and it's extremely powerful, really good armor piercing damage on them as well. So those are the guys we want to watch out for the most in this battle.
I think I'm watching out for this guy.
That's true actually. So this is the Chaos Giant. Pretty much does what it says on the tin. He's massive and he's ripped to shreds with bones and stuff all through his skin and his face.
That's what we got here.
Hell Cannon's really cool. It's got like bulging organic material on the back, and it's like this just insanely massive death machine that they can wheel around.
You said it.
Here we have the Chaos Trolls. Basically, again, do what they say in the tin. They can regenerate. They have poor leadership, so what happens a lot with these guys is they go into combat, they kind of do a lot of damage, then they kind of back out, they regenerate and come back in.
They can flee pretty quickly.
Yeah, and speaking of, I think they have fleas all over them. You can see them picking away at themselves. Then over here, lastly, we have the Chaos Warhounds. These are the poison variation. So you notice they have a kind of greenish tint to them as well. Basically, poison does speed damage and damages your overall strength as well. So when you get attacked by them, you're not as powerful. So you want to watch out for them. Again, just like a more powerful version of the other Warhounds. So the fade to black there, just for people who are wondering, is basically I had to enable a dev command to allow me to see beyond the fog of war to show you those units, because I am playing as the Empire, and normally they're hidden in the shroud, so I've just re-enabled that, went out and went back in, and here I am playing as the Empire. That's the Reichsguard unit there. You might have seen them in an introducing video. They're like really good shock cavalry, and then I just have some spears on the flanks. These are just spearmen, pretty basic infantry unit. It's worth mentioning we've got Karl Franz fighting this battle, which we'll get to in a second, against Archaon the Everchosen.
And a Celestial Wizard down here as well.
Celestial Wizard that you might have noticed from Blackfire Pass on the announced trailer that we did a long time ago. And Karl Franz riding Deathclaw up here. I always think Deathclaw's really cute from behind because you can see his little paws.
He's not meant to be cute.
No, he's ferocious. He's got claws on the front.
He is ferocious and very menacing.
Yeah. So Karl Franz has got his emblem embroidered on him as well, and on his breastplate. So over to the army then, we've just got more sword infantry on the left. We've got great swords which will move over into the center. These are like the really high tier unit. You know, they're called great for a reason. They're basically the best you can get. They're very, very powerful, high-tier sword infantry, and I put them in my front line to really hold off the Chaos Warriors' invasion of, like, you know, the Chosen and the really high-tier infantry that they're going to throw at me. Then we have the Halberdiers.
That's right.
Which is another Empire unit. Basically another high-tier Empire unit that's really good against anti-large, so they're perfect for fighting the Giant or the Trolls or any kind of cavalry as well. So here we have the Hellblaster volley gun, which essentially has like 9 barrels on it. It's kind of fires like almost like a minigun. And
It's
then
short range, right?
Very short range. And then we have the opposite to that, which is the Hellstorm rocket battery, which is like very long range, but does a lot of splash damage. So one is very focused and short range, one is very long and splashy, essentially.
These are
then-
handgunners?
Yep, these are the handgunners. Then I've got 2 of these at the back, just kind of firing over the artillery as they get close. They're just in range of my front line as well, so they can fire on any large monsters that are in the front lines as well to weaken them.
It's one of my favourites here. It's the Luminarch of Heesh.
Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous as well. Got the little dude holding the scroll and his candle, and the other guy holding the ball.
I think, yes, you need someone to hold a candle at the front.
Yeah, well, you know. Well, actually, they have candles on the horses as well. I was going to say, you can't just let anybody take
It's very
them. But,
important.
yeah. So we've got more spearmen then on the flanks, so I've just kind of gone for a nice balanced build here. We've got a Pegasus with a light wizard on top. So we'll get to some of his spells throughout the battle, but we've never seen a light wizard before, I don't think. And they're very, very powerful. They're kind of more used for like buffing and using hexes more than direct damage spells, but we'll get to that. And then my favorite unit, which is the Demigryph Knights out in the woods. They're actually hidden over here. They're very heavy shot cavalry, very good, probably the best shot cavalry you can get, but they're very slow. And they look absolutely brilliant with their shields that are actually like Demigryph shields and stuff. It looks really, really nice.
So do you have a strategy here with this, or are you just kind of going to play reactionary and see what is going to come at you?
So I did play reactionary, basically, and we'll see that they throw some things my way that you just cannot plan for. But what I'm doing here is keeping my artillery back. I am downhill, which is a problem, but even if I deploy at the front, I'm still going to be fighting downhill, and I can't move my artillery anywhere, really. And I didn't want to just bunch up completely on the left side, you know, I wanted to go for like a nice, aesthetically pleasing battle as well. So just for those of you who are going to say, like, you should have been on the left or up the hills, I thought about it, but I thought I could do better from down here. So Joey mentioned it earlier, but it's worth mentioning just one more time. So every unit that you see that we're playing against or with is in the base game, whether you own any DLC or not. This is what your game will be like when you're playing against the Chaos Warriors. However, if you do pre-order or you get the DLC after release, you will get access to play as Chaos Warriors and get some extra additional units and some legendary lords.
That is correct. And we're kind of kick-starting the combat here with, well, a lot of artillery fire.
Yeah, so the rocket battery is firing away, and they're firing their hell cannons at me as they move up their chariots and their giant and keeping their army kind of together as they move around the monolith.
Yeah, but the giant's in no rush. Look at him.
No, he's just chill. He's just casually walking along. I think he just got smacked by one of the volleys. So it looks fantastic. The flame trails coming out of the Chaos Knights.
I love that.
The sounds are amazing as well. The sounds of the hell cannon screaming as it goes by. I believe it's like souls or something trapped in each blast.
Turning souls into crackling bolts of energy.
Yeah, so you can kind of hear them whistling and screaming as they go by.
Nice, is it?
Speaking of not very nice, this wasn't very nice. Arcane has casted a Burning Head.
And a Flamestorm.
And a Flamestorm, almost one after the other straight away, which is absolutely tearing up my front line. So I guess he didn't like me tearing up his front line with my artillery, so he just went and did the same to me. But he did a lot of damage. One of my best units, the Halberdiers, has lost almost 50 guys, I think. So that's quite a significant
So what are you casting there?
So I'm casting the Net of Amintok, which is a 10-second hex that stops everybody in their tracks. Nobody in that zone can move. So that allowed me to gave myself time to fire on the giant, and that's the reason I did it there. Basically to slow them down so that some units hit my front line, that they don't all hit it at once, and allows me to get more shots in before they do. But you can see they very quickly, the Chaos Knights, like over on the left of it, engaged my cavalry. They haven't spotted my demigryphs, so my plan is to send my demigryphs out and around behind their artillery now and take out their artillery. Every shot they fire with their artillery is damaging my leadership, which is, you know, what morale used to be in the older games. So I don't want my guys to break and run away. You can see some of the guys are starting to run actually at the front because of the giant. That causes terror, and the trolls that are encroaching, that causes terror as well. So I brought Carl Franz up to use Stand Your Ground, which is basically just gives you an instant area of effect leadership buff, and also enhances defense and melee attacks. It's very, very strong, and you can use it over and over and over again after like a cooldown period. It doesn't affect the winds of magic.
Oh, you've got the Comet of Cassandora coming down.
So they were quite bunched up. I think they have a metal sorcerer in their army, and they were doing something. I'm not too sure what it was actually, but you can see the VFX. But they all bunched up when they cast that ability, obviously to get the area of effect. But it was an opportune time for my Celestial Wizard to fire. Now their giant is actually broke and started to run away, but he could reform. So I got my Luminarch to fire on him.
Oh.
And it was a perfect hit. I think it actually brought him down to like 1 HP or something, and then one bullet knocked him down from one of my gunners. So that was really good.
That was nice. So you only seem to have one, maybe 2 units routing. I think one's come back to you now.
Yeah, so they're just routing. Hopefully, like these units that have like 40 in them that are running away, they should come back if they just get clear of the engagement for a while. So it's going okay. You know, it's going all right. We're holding our line here. Our spells have kicked off right.
So I don't know how you've done. I'm quite intrigued to see what the result.
Well,
of this
I don't want to
battle
spoil it. So we'll just have to wait and see. But
well, so far you're doing pretty well.
Doing okay. I wouldn't. Yeah, it's quite tough. You know, I'm losing in some areas, winning in some others. Everybody's engaged somewhere, and the guys that are breaking, I'm trying to like reform them as quick as I can and bring them back in. My demigriffs now have just engaged their artillery, so hopefully their artillery will now be offline. You can see them out there. Yeah, one of them's actually gone. The other one's just about to go as well.
Excellent. So you've used a demigriff just to wipe them out. Oh, chariots in the rear.
That was a massive charge. So chariots have like insanely good, you know, like charge bonuses that just throw your units around. But there's only 4 in a unit, so. Oh, here I was actually really worried that Arcane was chasing down my Celestial Wizard.
He looks very afraid.
Yeah, he's going straight for him, and he actually like kicks him to the ground as well. So. He's in a spot of trouble, I would say. So I'm getting my gunners to fire on Archaon as much as I can. Their knights seem to have gotten the better of me over there as well. They're kind of now pushing into the center from behind, which is really, really dangerous.
That is a bold move from Archaon, just to come directly in. But
so it is, but he's much better than a wizard, you know, in combat. He's got a massive flame sword. So I was trying to quickly activate his Chain Lightning Vortex spell before he died, because I have a lot of Winds of Magic, and that's a very powerful spell. And I just managed to get it off before he kind of routed. So usually when you're in combat, it's very difficult to enable spells. That's why I had to click it a few times, and it did a good amount of damage, but then it kind of, you know, spooled off into the distance and didn't really hit anybody. So I brought my Celestial Wizard in and tried to activate his one, which is Banishment, which is just another vortex. Same thing kind of happened. You can see it in the distance there. It soaked up some units. It kind of pulls them up towards it, like similar to the Purple Sun.
Well, the vortex spells are very good against multiple units, especially in that kind of setup that you had there, where there's many units all piled in.
Yeah, so I'm getting a bit worried at this point. You know, a lot of areas are starting to break, but they're still kind of bunching up. So I activated those 2 vortexes really as a last-ditch effort to kind of annihilate that section, but they didn't quite go as well as they could have. They kind of, as opposed to the Flamestorm, which ran through my front line, my one kind of hit them initially and then moved off into nothing. And I have so many units that are just running away now, and I'm trying to see who's available and bring them all back in. It's really, really not looking good at this point.
You have 6-7 routing units? Oh no!
Yeah, and some of them, I've lost some units, so some are completely dead. Never coming back. And it's hard to micro, like trying to zoom in and show the combat as well as micro. My demigriffs are out in the distance, not even doing anything, so I'm bringing them into the fight as quick as I can. Getting my Celestial Wizard, who has gotten away. I'm trying to kill Archaon, so casting a Wind Blast on him, but I actually kind of miss, and I hit the units behind him.
Well, he's dead now.
Yeah, so he's been chased again. I mean, Archaon has a serious problem with my Celestial Wizard. He's going to take him down. So I'm trying to focus everything on it. I'm turning my Luminarch actually to face him as well. If I could get a good shot off an Archaon, it might actually turn the tide as well.
So your demigriffs are kind of coming in there, which is good. They're downhill.
Yeah, they're kind of going downhill, hitting the Marauders as well. Carl Franz I'm trying to pull him out of the combat now because he's kind of surrounded. Pulling all my sword infantry and spear infantry back into the center as much as I can. But it's not looking good. I mean, at this point, it's really like I don't see a way I can win.
Darren, no.
I've been quite outmatched. Now, full disclosure, I played this a couple times and I came very close to winning one time. So it is possible, but this time I think magic just didn't go my way, and I didn't micro very well as I tried to zoom in on things too much, I think. But it is winnable. So yeah.
Just not by you.
Yeah, maybe not by me, but it takes practice. It was a difficult fight. But it's not over yet, so we're still like, I've had to come back from this kind of thing before, but I have spent all my magic. Usually at this kind of point in the battle, if you've got enough magic, you can still maybe turn the tide if they bunch up, or if you kill like their legendary lord. So here I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into first person mode and just fire directly on these guys. Turned out they weren't manning their guns anymore because they were engaged in combat, but here I am firing straight on them in first person mode. You can do this by pressing insert. Problem was I was actually kind of hitting my own light wizard, which is good.
You can't hit your own light wizard!
I hope I didn't, but I think I did, and he's actually routing now as well. So there I am again, activating just the leadership buffs to try and call these guys back into the fight. It's like, come on guys, Karl Franz himself is flying above you, demanding that you come return to the fight. But these guys are terrified of the Chaos Warriors. You could hear them early on, hopefully. They literally say it in the deployment, you know, like, we can't win this, the Chaos are too powerful. Which is really, really cool.
That's a lot of units lost, and a lot of routing units as well. Your artillery is now completely offline.
Yeah.
And no one is manning it.
My Luminarch, it was wavering, it just came back, and they're getting crushed by another charge.
This is brutal.
It is, and this is what Chaos Warriors are. You know, you're going to play the game and have to deal with numerous invasions. To be honest, they kind of had higher tier units than I did. They had their chosen. They had 4 units of chosen. I only had 2 units of great swords, so I couldn't hold my line as well. But I had more units overall, so and more magic wielding units. Unfortunately, it just didn't go right. So this is a last-ditch attempt to try and kill Archaon. I fired a magic missile at him and just missed. His health was actually like quite considerably low. That it might have actually done something and caused some of them to rout, but it wasn't good enough. And now he's completely enveloped. So I think we'll just have a little listen, look at the combat for a second here when I zoom in. Oh yeah, and I was trying to get the Luminarch again, just to fire on Archaon. I was doing everything I could, just to, if we could maybe kill him, just maybe, it might do something. There he is, being kicked around, and he's activating spells as well to kind of buff his troops.
Oh, the light wizard's coming in to help there. The Luminarch just missed.
Everyone's coming in. He actually just activated the Flaming Sword of Ruin, which gave all his units 22% weapon damage for 13 seconds. So that's what all the VFX are popping off now. You can see everyone's just like fighting it out. But Karl Franz, you know, he's lost and he's not coming back from this. But he's not going down without a fight. He is like pushing everyone around. And that's it. So he ran away, and Karl Franz is hopefully going to get away and retreat back to Altdorf maybe and defend against another Chaos Horde if he can muster his troops.
Well, thanks for showing us that battle, Darren, and let us know what you think and what army composition you would use in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more videos from Total War Warhammer.